just wrestling for Lariato is nice because you get to be with the Good Brothers. You get to be with Doc and Carl, and I love Doc to death. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And you get to have those experiences, and some of those experiences being with Lariato got the chance for me to wrestle for Impact Plus, and for me to do a seminar in front of Scott D'Amore, the president of Impact Wrestling. And then it also led me a spot to doing some backstage stuff. And so I was able to do a backstage vignette for Sami Callihan before he fought Kenny Omega at SummerSlam or not SummerSlam, Slammiversary last year, which was pretty cool. So it was just a lot of doors open for that.
Yeah, let's even talk about that, because that's one of the things that I think people don't understand. And obviously, I was speaking to somebody last night in comic books and building relationships and also being in certain areas at the right time. It's very important, I think, that people don't understand. And wrestling and comics are similar in that regard. And it seems that obviously you were in certain promotions and those relationships were being built. And I think ultimately what happened with Impact Plus and doing those vignettes and that stuff ultimately led you to sort of being brought up into New England and obviously training there and all that stuff. And I think that people get discovered when you do that stuff. And so I think it's very important that people recognize and understand that, hey, certain promotions are going to give you an opportunity, and that exposure is worth more than what they're going to pay you to wrestle.
Exactly. And I'll piggyback on that a little bit more. To this day, and I consider him one of my closest friends in wrestling, Matt Griffin, and he is the promoter for, he is the promoter for Action Wrestling in Tyrone, Georgia. And that's where like AC Mac was built. That's where we did Southeast first. And that's where AC Mac won the IWTV championship from Alex Shelley. So being in that atmosphere, but to backtrack a little bit more, they did something for Action, which is called Next Up. And it's for people that help set up the ring and, just want to get their foot in the door. And when I showcased, their first match on their first episode, Matt was impressed with what I did. So he asked me to be on the Future Showcase, which is part of the Scenic City Invitational, which is a big tournament that they have in the Southeast that helps you build up your brand, helps build up the people, so that way it can help get more exposure. And so when I did the Future Showcase, people were on Twitter or on social media saying like, oh my gosh, who is this Landon Hale guy? They keep going on from there. I've had shows for Paradigm Pro Wrestling, which they're out of Indiana. They're great. I've had a lot of stuff with, like you were saying, like Lariato with doing Impact Plus. And there's just a lot of great opportunities from there.